Forgiveness, it's often called the key to inner peace, but what if I told you it actually operates more like a precise mechanical system in our brains and hearts?
That's such an intriguing way to look at it. What led you to explore this mechanical perspective?
Well, recent studies in neuroscience show that the act of forgiveness literally changes our brain chemistry. When we forgive, our bodies release oxytocin and lower cortisol levels. It's like a biological reset button.
You know what's fascinating about that? How it connects to ancient wisdom about forgiveness being both an emotional and physical healing process.
Exactly right. And here's where it gets really interesting. The research suggests that true forgiveness requires two distinct components: pardoning the offense and completely forgetting it happened. It's like trying to achieve a perfect chemical reaction.
Hold on though, how is it even possible to completely forget an offense? That seems like asking for the impossible.
Well, that's where the mechanical metaphor becomes really useful. Think of it like a complex gear system. Each component needs to work perfectly for the whole machine to function optimally. But here's the key insight. Even if we can't achieve perfect forgiveness, the attempt itself creates positive change.
You know, that reminds me of a remarkable case study I read about conflict resolution in South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Oh, tell me more about that. It sounds like a perfect real-world example of these principles in action.
Well, they found that even partial forgiveness led to measurable improvements in both mental and physical health. Blood pressure decreased, depression symptoms improved, and community bonds strengthened.
That's fascinating because it connects directly to this concept of agape love, that unconditional, selfless love that transforms both the giver and receiver. Studies show that people who practice forgiveness have 24% better psychological well-being.
How does this relate to the spiritual concept of metanoia you mentioned earlier?
Think of metanoia as a complete operating system upgrade for the soul. Research shows that people who regularly practice forgiveness experience a 30% reduction in anxiety and depression symptoms. It's not just spiritual growth, it's measurable psychological transformation.
That's quite remarkable. How do these findings apply to everyday situations?
Here's the practical application. Studies show that even small acts of forgiveness, like letting go of minor grievances, can reduce stress hormones by up to 15%. It's like building up your emotional immune system through regular exercise. And
Those numbers really put things in perspective. What about the long-term effects?
the longitudinal data is fascinating. People who score high on forgiveness scales show 40% better cardiovascular health and live an average of 7.5 years longer. It's literally life-extending.
You know what strikes me about all this? How the ancient wisdom about forgiveness is being validated by modern science.
Exactly right, and here's another surprising finding. Practicing forgiveness increases productivity at work by 27%. It's like removing emotional static from our mental bandwidth.
That's such a powerful metaphor. How should people start implementing these insights?
Research suggests starting with small acts of forgiveness, what psychologists call forgiveness training wheels. Begin with minor offenses, then gradually work up to bigger challenges. Studies show this approach has an 82% success rate.
Those are encouraging statistics. Any final thoughts on this fascinating intersection of science and spirituality?
Well, the data points to one clear conclusion. Whether we achieve perfect forgiveness or not, every attempt creates positive change. It's like compound interest for the soul. Small investments yield significant returns over time.
That's such a hopeful message to end on.
And remember, while complete forgiveness might be rare, the science shows that even partial success creates meaningful transformation. Every step toward forgiveness is a step toward better health, stronger relationships, and deeper spiritual growth.